What's good, guys? Morning. So, I guess today I want to kind of go over some of the things that I guess that I did, right, that may help benefit you as far as with crypto and taxes. So some of the different things that that I've been able to do, and why, right? So I would say the first thing. Now, I owned rental property, a duplex, so it must be a multi-family dwelling. I owned the rental property before I lost my vision and before I went blind and all of that. But by forming a trust and donating the property into the trust, I'm no longer responsible under my Social Security number to pay the taxes of income on the trust. That no longer has any effect on either me being the owner or actually the beneficiary. And then I have a trustee. But I still own the property. But by running it through an EIN number instead of a Social Security number, that doesn't affect my Social Security disability or my Medicare benefits. Again, with crypto, same thing. I have donated those crypto to the trust. The trust owns the crypto. The capital gains of crypto then does not affect my Social Security number for either my Social Security disability, SSDI, or my Medicare, because I run it through the EIN number of the trust. Now, it's a little more difficult to get things done in this way, in that to form a trust is usually around $4,000 for an attorney. And you can go get it now, and just know that every single case is completely different. So it depends on what you want to do, what you want to achieve. But you can go anywhere in your area as a free consultation with any estate attorney. So it costs you nothing. But explain what it is that you want to do, and to learn the different ways that you can go about different things. So now for the crypto, with different exchanges, as in on and off ramp, right? From your checking account, which after the trust, then you create a trust checking account with any major institution. It is a business account with any major institution. And in doing so, the problem that you're going to run into is that by doing that, you are not allowed access to the internet. So you cannot just log in to that business checking account with Plaid. That's a big issue on several different exchanges. So the way around that, like I said, you have no web access to it. Basically, everything is done by telephone to find out balances and that sort of stuff, and verify deposits and withdrawals, all of that kind of stuff to keep your records straight. Or in lobby. So you can have a debit card per account in your trustee's name. And the reason why I did this and I set the PIN number to whatever I wanted, right? Because my trustee is, let's just say it this way. If anything were to ever happen to your trustee, or your backup trustee couldn't be in town near, in time, whatever, to sign any checks or anything like that, right? So in that instance, you can like have a set limit per day, which I think mine is like $900 per day at an ATM. So from that, I can withdraw, it might be 800, I'm not sure. But from that, I can then withdraw $800 or $900 per day. And if I have a mortgage, if I have an insurance payment or anything like that, I can at least withdraw that amount of cash and then go get a cashier's check printed and made in order to make that payment. So there is a way around different things, but however, through the exchanges for crypto, right, you will need to create an institutional account. Gemini is the easiest one that I've found to get everything done and achieved and, completed through. I have not been able to do others, so that's just my luck, I guess. Because I would much rather, not that I would rather a different exchange other than Gemini. It's like I would also like Coinbase for that instance in order to be able to purchase Stellar Lumens, XLM. But you have to set up an institutional account with the exchange in order to use that account. You cannot just send an ACH. That doesn't work. I've tried. So it's a lot more paperwork and whatnot, but look, it is so much more worth it in that instance. But more back to the story, right? Of getting creative to be creative for your wealth. So what I have done with the rental property, right, is this last big run up in crypto, I took a lot out in this last run up in crypto, and capital gains is line one, is perceived as income, right? So because it is perceived as income, you can have tax write-offs where you can lower how much you owe in taxes at that point by owning a multi-family dwelling, being a duplex, fourplex, something like that. But it can't be, and you cannot own more than like 9, something like that. You can't own more than like 9 rental properties. But it cannot be just a single house, anything. It must be a multi-family dwelling in order to do this. So by your capital gains as line one as income. Now, with it being a multi-family dwelling, you can then, any improvements that you make into this property, tax write-off. And major improvements, you can forward that 10 years worth of write-offs if you want. So instead of paying capital gains taxes, why not pay yourself equity? That's exactly what I did. However, my tenants, here's a little more in depth on my story at the moment and what I'm going to do moving forward. My tenants had no idea of my financial situation, right? They had no idea of any of this. So, they had no idea that I was going to put $300,000 into this rental property and really fix it up. I elevated the property 5 feet. I did everything, all new concrete everywhere around, walkways, everything. Extra handrails. I mean, just I kind of went a little nuts, but I designed it a certain way so that way I could do other things later, like add solar panels and even have the hot tub, which is energy efficient, by Thermospas. It was a special order, but whatever. I took profit out of DigiByte, and DigiByte bought me a hot tub, basically. So it was through Thermospas, 95 jet, special order, mahogany exterior with calico interior. Bad to the bone. Basically a Buick. But anyway, right? I'm getting off topic here. So the tenants had no idea of what it is that I was going to do by dropping this amount of money into this property. Look, for me, the numbers just worked as far as to pay the insurance, to pay the mortgage, which, I should have paid off, but I didn't. I only owe $40,000 on the mortgage anyway, so it's like, whatever. I was informed not to pay the property off for tax reasons, but, when all is said and done, I only got like a $2,000 write-off. Whereas with crypto, I have a $300,000 write-off by putting that into renovations. So what the hell's the difference? $2,000 write-off. That made no sense to me. I should have just paid the damn thing off. So lesson learned that way. But worst case, look, the house it'll be paid for in under 4 years. So it's like whatever. So back to it, right? So I only charge, the tenants have been here now for 7 years, and I grandfathered them in at the same rent. Their rent has never increased $1 in 7 years, which is set at $1,300 per month. To some, that may sound like a lot, but it's not. It's 1,850 square feet per side, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, walk-in closets, huge kitchen. Really nice. But so for the $1,300 a month, the numbers worked. I could just leave that set off on the side, and it would still run itself while I focused on everything on the exterior of the property to put that kind of money into this property. And I mean, like I said, I did go a little nuts on a few things, but why not, So they had no idea, so I grandfathered them in at $1,300 a month. Now, current rents in the area are about, for this size, I would say $2,100 a month is current rent. Now, after Hurricane Ida, I have an insurance claim, which is not the amount that it is going to cost me to fix everything, including minus the deductible of the insurance. So the net is, I'm still negative, right? So after I begin to renovate the interior and do all that, all receipts, all bases covered, right? I'm going to then basically appeal, but I forget what they call it. Not an extension, a supplement. So to get a supplement on the insurance to cover the additional expenses, other things I know that they will not cover, right? However, with the amount of damage that happened to the interior, and other things that I would like to do at the same time to be able to take advantage of it. I can't have tenants in there. I mean, it's a lot of work. Basically, the 3 bedrooms on the second floor, if you can envision the ceilings, the drywall I'm going to remove, the insulation, all removed, all of that replaced, all 3 bedrooms upstairs. New electrical boxes, so that way you can actually hang a ceiling fan, a nice metal box, not the little thin, shallow ones. I want the Mac Daddy, So anyway, that as well as the back wall of the master bedroom, that entire back wall needs to be removed and replaced. All new insulation and drywall back there as well. That's just upstairs. Downstairs, the living room, dining room area, I'm going to remove all the sheetrock as soon as you walk into the foyer and living room, dining room area, all of that's coming out. But, I learned from working on this side that it has no insulation separating between floors. So I'm going to insulate. I'm going to run insulation between floors, but nowhere where there's water. No pipes, so not underneath the bathrooms, right? That part will not have any insulation in it. And that's just to prevent any water leaks or whatnot, to not have mold growing, right? And I'm not a fan of the foam. I'm just not. I've heard too many stories. People are allergic. Other people can't breathe. Different things like that. So foam is out of the question in this instance. But as well, the den, that whole ceiling is going to come out insulation and drywall there as well. However, instead of removing the sidewall, and there's no damage there, I'm going to frame up a 2x4 wall along that wall, and then add more insulation, and then another sheet of drywall on top of it, maybe 2 sheets of drywall, I'm not sure yet, to give more of a sound deadening between units. Now, I'm also doing the same thing on my side, because whenever you have a party or whatnot and the music is loud, you can hear it on the other side. It is a concrete slab, so sound resonates through. However, it's always been an issue, so I want to fix that. But while all the sheetrock and everything is down, the plywood above, right? They use smooth shank nails. They didn't use ring shank nails. They didn't use screws. I mean, the house was constructed in 1972. So what I'm going to do is from underneath, to make it easier for me to follow, right? From underneath, I'm going to go beside the, so here's your ceiling joist. Now I'm going to go beside the ceiling joist on one side with a screw up through the plywood. Same thing on the other side. So that way then I'll have 2 points of contact, run a chalk line, snap the chalk line on the plywood, and then I can follow that line. And then like every 6 or 8 inches, drive a 3-inch deck screw right into that sucker. So that way it will, if it doesn't stop all the leaks, or I'm sorry, all the squeaks, not leaks, squeaks. If it doesn't stop all the squeaks, it'll be damn close. The other thing is from underneath, I'm going to run an L channel between the ceiling joists. So basically, like a 2x6 this way and a 2x6 this way to give support in between each ceiling joist. then the insulation, then the drywall will go back up. I can tape in mud, but I cannot finish. I don't have the vision to do that. Everything else I can do. I have the equipment to do everything. I have a drywall lift. I got all of that. I'm talented in drywall. I used to do really well. But other things I'm going to do as well at this time. Like, I'm going to pull all the baseboards and quarter round, and I'm going to pull all the carpet. Now, when I demolish the place, I can demolish anything. But when I demolish the place and clean it all up, all the nails pulled and everything, screws, whatever, and I go by feeling. So I feel each 2x that of in the construction. That's how I find every single nail, every single staple, everything. I clean it thoroughly. So all of that debris, the carpet as well, all of that from each room upstairs, from each room downstairs, it's just going to be piled up in the middle of the floor. I'm going to order a dumpster, then I'm going to hire two or three guys, that's all I need them for, is to take the trash, throw it in the dumpster. I'll help as well to do that with what I can. Go around, sweep it up, clean up the place. Then I'm ready for drywall to be delivered. And I can hang all that drywall by myself because I have a lift. I have other ways of doing things. I've had to get creative. You also have to take in mind, it's not like I've never done any of this, right? So my family has owned rental property since before I was born. So it's like, I grew up as the maintenance man since I was like 11 years old. I was the maintenance man for the property, So everything I've already seen and done before. So it's no big thing for me. I mean, yes, I have limitations, but I know what those limitations are. There's a big difference. It's, yes, I could even do it blindfolded, completely in the dark. I have regained some vision out of my right eye. So, but it's still 20/200. So, in such narrow field of view, many other complications, still considered legally blind in the right eye. So yeah, I mean, like I said though, I could still do this even blindfolded. I can do this. I can replace a toilet blindfolded. I can install a faucet. I can install a sink blindfolded. That's how many times I've had to do this. So anyway, the other thing is, all new baseboards, quarter round. Downstairs, it has this like schoolroom tile, and I have a buffering machine, and I know I can really take it all the way back down and seal it and put a heck of a shine on it. I've done it before with each tenant that has moved in and out, right? So, yeah, it's not that difficult. Now this go around, I'm not going to go ahead with crown molding in every room. I'm not going to do the crown molding this run, but I am going to replace all the baseboards, quarter round, maybe even the doors and door casings. I would like nicer, properly hung doors, if you will, all new hardware, all of that. But like a 6-panel door, I don't want, but I also want it where it has insulation in between. I don't want just a Luan door. I want the sound deadening, basically, from the bedroom to the hallway, that kind of stuff. I want more sound deadening in the house. So the doors, I may go ahead and replace at the same time, because I'm also going to do pergo flooring, but not the pergo flooring that is out there now today is lifetime warranty, as well as waterproof, not water resistant, waterproof. So anyone jumping out of the shower and going through, they're not going to scratch it up, they're not going to damage it, any of that, sliding furniture on it. I mean, it's just so much more durable, right? So I'm going to do that, but that's only $2.79 a square foot. Now the install is $3 a square foot in addition to that from your major box store, right? But I'm going to do the install myself. I'm talented with a table saw. I'm talented with a compound miter saw as well. I know I can do those cuts. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'll install pergo flooring, all of that, then all new baseboards and quarter round. And like I said, new doors, new door casings, all of that. To really give the place a facelift. And I can also see like a chair rail that goes around to where I have a darker color at the bottom and then a bright color, like say white, on the top. Something like that. So that way it gives more of a contrast. As far as the painting is concerned. Now all the ceilings are going to be smooth and flat. I don't like all the popcorn and all that other stuff. I'm done with that. So yeah, I'm about to go through a good bit for next door. Now, back to the tenants. So I've had many issues out of tenants. And if you're considering rental property because of crypto, you've done well in crypto and you want to look into owning rental property, know this. I've seen it all. I've seen things that have surprised me. You're going to have to know how to do different things. You can't just pick up the phone and make a phone call sometimes. Then they're so demanding at times. Call you at 3 a.m, air conditioner doesn't work, heater doesn't work. Who are you going to call at 3 or 4 a.m, right? So you got to get out there and go take a look and know what you're looking at. So it's a lot of research in addition. Know how to do things yourself in order to not pinch pennies, but to save a lot of money. So, because now the cost of labor has doubled. You don't get paid twice as much from your employer. But all these contractors around, yeah, they're up to $1,000 a day. They're not $300 or $500 a day anymore. Just know that. So, transitory, right? So anyway, back to the tenants. I've had several issues. They've abused their, I guess at times they feel that they own the place, right? And that they can dictate to me what's gonna, why this, when that, when this, when that. And then go off and on a tangent, on a temper tantrum, right? And say things you shouldn't. No one should ever say. And do things that the actual owner would never do. And then the owner then corrects them. And then nothing but flip attitude and everything else back. Look, you don't own this. I'm about to show you who does. Now, where I'm at, I need them out to do all this work. Yes, I can have them out in 10 days. I can have them out in 30 days. I just thought about it, And it's like, you know what? Here we are going into the hottest months of the year. And when they're out, I would have to pay for electricity, so running the air conditioner and that sort of stuff. In my location, that's a huge expense here, especially with no drywall and no insulation, right? So it's like, instead of during the hottest months of the year, what I did, instead of being a dick, was I gave them till September 1st. You got to be out. No ifs, ands, or buts. And legally, I can do that. I can do it much sooner. It's just it won't be habitable. I mean, the amount of work that has to go on in there. I can't move furniture room to room, all of this kind of stuff. Pay for those tenants to be in a motel, pay for their food, pay for this, pay for that, pay for this. Not my deal. That's your problem, not mine. And so I gave them till September 1st. That's 4 months. No one ever gave me 4 months. Now, regardless what happens here. So if they move out sooner, great. I get what I want. If they drag their ass and wait till September 1st, I still get what I want. Because I'm looking at about 4 months worth of work here, is what I figure. So from September through December, basically. Then it will be ready to rent in January. But not for $1,300 a month. Oh no. Not for $2,100 a month either. Dig this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dabble in Airbnb. Now, I know I first kind of frowned upon it, right? However, in my area, I actually qualify to do this because I live directly next door. I live on premises. So I actually do qualify in my area to run an Airbnb. And it is a duplex. So it's not like a single family home, kind of a thing. So and to Paulie P, thanks, dude. I dove further into Airbnb, and I realized that, from some of us traveling around the U.S. and renting Airbnbs, we have paid crazy amounts of money for Airbnbs, and some of them were just garbage. And I've looked around in my area to see the going rate. The going rate in my area is anywhere from 4 times to 6 times the current rent. And that is considered average. That's not over and above, right? That's average. Now the current rent is $2,100 in my area. So, but just to keep the numbers simple, right? We're talking $2,000 a month. Times 4 would be $8,000 a month. That's $96,000 a year. At 6 times, that would be 144 times, or 144,000 a year. My current rent that I earn is $1,300 a month. That's $15,600 a year. So to take that from $15,600 a year to $96,000 on the low end to $144,000 a year as average. Yeah, I can do a lot with that. So in addition to paying off the mortgage, to, at different times, take a time out from renting it as an Airbnb to go ahead and then add other things in, right? Like indirect lighting and, you know, other things like the crown molding and different things like that, right? Really dress it up. You know, when it would first rent, it would have nice blinds, all of that kind of stuff already in it. Nice furniture, but not stupid furniture. I'm not talking Thomasville or Century furniture. I'm not talking anything like that. You can spend $500,000 in furniture if you want. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking the Tootsie leather. I'm not talking anything like that. Nice, sturdy furniture that looks really nice and well placed, well drawn out, all of that. Very nice other amenities, right? The expensive soaps and shampoos and towels and bed linens and that sort of stuff, right? I have no issue with any of that. So, especially with taking the revenue from $15,600 to revenue of $96,000 plus, possibly $144,000 annual. So now anything over and above that, that's going into crypto through the trust. So this is just an additional way that I figure I can figure an extra $100,000 a year. Again, still retired. Again, still blind. Again, a tax write-off. And it's not like I'm selling the car, the wife, the kids, you know. Now, granted, I got a lot of work to do on my side as well, but I want the moneymaker done first. I'll be doing this in the interim on my side anyway. I'm not pushed to do anything, you know. Now look, your situation may be different. You may live with a woman, right? And most women want things done yesterday, snap their fingers kind of thing. I'm here to tell you, after Hurricane Ida, you can't get help here. So it's just like that. People are backed up months. Especially if you're dealing with an insurance claim. Because then it must be a licensed, bonded, and insured construction company. You can't just go hire Jose and Hose B. So, you know, that doesn't work. Even though sometimes I've gotten great talent in that way. And some of those people are excellent workers. Taught me a few things even. And se hablo un poco, but, you know, it's not my native language. You know, at times I have to use an app or whatnot in order to converse, or a friend even. So, but for other things, absolutely. Yeah, I got a few people I can call in that way. And, you know, at other times, you know, you just have to bite the bullet and, you know. But the other thing is that some of those people now have gotten used to, they've learned, I would say. They no longer, now they charge gringo price. You know, they don't charge what they used to charge. Now they charge gringo price. Same as a licensed contractor. But you have to know how to negotiate. So it depends. But for an insurance claim, that's out, that you can't do that. So anyway, I just thought I'd go over quite a few things. So instead of like losing my cool and going nuts and kicking these people out in 10 days, like I know I can, I've done it before, legally through this parish. Instead of 30 days, it's like, you know, instead of 30 days, it's going to be hot as hell during the summer. And I'd much rather wait till September anyway to get started in this. Then I can still finish it and then be able to rent it out January 1st. And Mardi Gras is always like February, March, in that ballpark, right? So just in time. And then April is Jazz and Heritage Festival. So I think that would put me in perfect timing. Now, the other thing, the other 4 months, giving them 4 months. What this also does is the mortgage, this would give 4 months would give me the amount of time to save up an additional $4,000 to apply towards that mortgage during that time frame. And the $1,300 a month, that's another $4,000. So just figure either which way, I'm out $8,000 off the top before I even start demolition, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking at. So by doing it this way, I will end up saving figure $4,000 by doing it this way. Otherwise, I'd have to bite the bullet and pay for it now, but at the same time, I'm seeing the markets take a dip in crypto, and it's like, this is the buying opportunity right now. So I would instead of taking any more profit right now, I'd rather leave that sit on the side for just a little bit longer. The other things, I can do all the rest myself. I just need someone to come in to be able to finish the drywall, to, float and sand, basically. Make a nice, perfect, smooth finish. I don't have the vision to do that, or the texture on the walls, and ceilings. So I can't do that anymore. But everything else, I think I'm about to be busy. So anyway, just food for thought. Wanted to share that with you. Different other ways that you can get creative for taxes, for revenue, for crypto. Y'all be cool. Later.
Yeah.